Hi, I'm Mary.
And I'm Katie, and this is The Housewife Did It.
Pop culture edition. Forgot what I was supposed to say for a second.
this
I was gonna say podcast. I don't know why.
this is our podcast.
This is a
If you're
podcast.
on YouTube, this is the new hair edition.
Yeah. And Halloween edition.
Yeah. Our last year's Halloween shirts and other spooky shirts that I just decided to do are on sale still through October 5th for 13% off using the code FALL24. So go check that out. If you're listening to this on the day that they came out, it's before October 5th.
Yeah.
So go. Run.
Yes. And not by the time this episode comes out, but by the time our new Halloween special comes out, we will have some new Halloween shirts related to that Halloween special that you can purchase. And if you like them, you can wear them everywhere you go, especially for Halloween.
And is my hair an Easter egg? Maybe. Could be.
Maybe. If you love Easter eggs and you love Katie's new hair, you can tell everyone to head to YouTube and watch it, and then like and subscribe and comment about her hair. And
only nice things, please.
Yeah. Be careful.
Do not bully me.
Yeah. And then tell your friend.
Yeah.
All right.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. We have really a smorgasbord of tidbits. We've got celebrities saving lives. We've got arrests. And believe
I thought
it or
for
not,
a second we were going to have entirely tidbits.
Yeah. And believe it or not, celebrities also vote in presidential elections. So, here we go. John Bon Jovi shocked us all when a video surfaced of him talking a woman out of jumping off a bridge in Nashville. He just, right place, right time.
Yes, literally.
Would she have been convinced by anyone else?
Right.
Or is she just like, wait, this is God?
Here's the thing. Normally, for a woman, if a man approaches me...
Jumping.
Yeah, I already want to end my life.
Decision made.
To be honest. Like, I'm already like, ugh. But what are the odds that a famous person is the person who comes up and you're like, oh my God.
Wait. Angel? Guardian angel?
And then you can like manipulate him a little bit. You can be like, I'll not jump if you give me your number or something. I also saw a video. I also saw a video. There's a video going around of a woman at a farmer's market in London, and a man like comes up and like not like weirdly, but like puts his hand on her back to like scoot past her because it's like crowded, and she like turns around to look at him, and it's Harry Styles, and she's like, but she's so chill. She was like, oh my God, like you're Harry Styles, like it's so nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan. And he was like people were saying I think he's her fan because the way he was looking at her, he was like, damn girl. But they were like, this is a perk of living in London. I just saw this girl meet Harry Styles, and I was like, again,
there's a perk of living in Nashville. Just
yeah. If a man put his hand near my back to walk past me, to walk past me in a crowded farmer's market, which like here's the thing, that's exactly how I walk past my kids at school. I put my hand on their back. I say, I'm about to walk past you.
Oh, that's how I walk past everyone.
Yeah, like totally normal. If a man did that to me, I'd be mad. But if it was Harry Styles, I would never wash my back again.
You'd turn around like this and you're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's a
proceed.
There's someone on TikTok that posted a video. It was like someone famous had kissed their cheek and they never washed it, and this one spot on their cheek is like super broken out and like discolored. And I can't tell if it's like real or not, but people are like,
they're just
that's
like
disgusting.
Scrubbing.
Yeah, they're like, they put like, do they put a patch on it or something?
Yeah, what's happening here?
But that if Harry Styles touched my back, that would be me.
Mm-hmm. In less life-saving news, Sean, we've talked about this, okay? But now we have some results. Sean Diddy Combs was arrested on charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. They found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil in his home.
They found almost 800 dildos.
Great.
It was, I think, 784 dildos.
People are now even more deeply scrutinizing and like looking for clues in his relationship with 15-year-old Justin Bieber. There are like videos where Justin was staying with him for 48 hours. So people just like wonder what happened with Justin Bieber. And like people have for the past few years been really like talking about how awful the industry was to Justin Bieber and like how sexualized he was. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what we'll find out there.
Sad.
Yeah. Following the presidential debate, Taylor Swift publicly endorsed Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, which should have surprised no one, especially Swifties. But alas, it did for some strange reason.
People on Facebook are like, if you're selling your Eras Tour tickets for political reasons, please sell them to me. Yeah. And I'm like, here's the thing. If you have tickets to the Eras Tour and you didn't know who that woman was going to vote for president, you don't deserve tickets to the Eras Tour. You're not paying enough attention. Mm-hmm. Somebody reached out to us on Instagram and said they couldn't find it and asked us to read it. So I am going to do that.
Okay.
So her post reads, like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now is a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics that matter to you the most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about their proposed policies and plans for this country. Inserting my own opinion here, or their concepts of a plan for this country. Mm-hmm. Recently, I was made aware of that AI of me falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted to his site. It really conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers of spreading misinformation. It brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about my actual plans for this election as a voter. The simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of running mate Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ plus rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. I've done my research and I've made my choice. Your research is all yours to do, and the choice is yours to make. I also want to say, especially to first-time voters, remember that in order to vote, you have to be registered. I also find it's much easier to vote early. I'll link where to register and find early voting dates and info in my story. With love and hope. Hope? Hope. Taylor Swift.
Minnesota? I'm ready.
I keep saying beg. Taylor Swift, childless cat lady. Yeah, again, not surprised. And it's a picture of her in Meredith, I think.
From that Time article.
Yeah. Trump responded on Truth Social in all caps, I hate Taylor Swift.
Yeah. He posted that he's not a fan, or like said he's not really a fan of her. He's much more fond of that Brittany Mahomes girl. But Brittany, a fan of her doing what?
Endorsing him.
Right. But he's like, I don't even like Taylor Swift's music. I much prefer that Brittany Mahomes girl. She doesn't offer the same thing.
Yeah.
She has no music.
There's a girl on TikTok that keeps making these videos where she like dubs Donald Trump, like things he said in elections, and it says like Donald Trump was born to be a teenage girl, and she's got like a pink bathrobe on and sunglasses, and she's like, it is just like so funny. Like that's exactly what I think of. I hate Taylor Swift. Okay.
Yeah. He then proceeded to make merch using the Eras Tour design and template. And I just, like, want to know, like, everyone already after the AI thing was like, you're about to get into litigation with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like, you understand that?
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, sir, like,
yeah,
she's gonna sue you.
Also, when the first person I think of when I see that shirt is not Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I think of Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, oh, whoever's wearing that must love Taylor Swift.
They must also love Kamala Harris.
Yeah. She also encouraged everyone to vote during her VMA's speech, or to register to vote. But yes.
Yes. We didn't really, well, never mind, we have that coming. Yeah. I just, like, think it's crazy to act like that's shocking. Not only did she already endorse Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, so it's like a very comparable ticket. But she has had lots to say about Donald Trump as a person. So, like, sure, maybe, this is a reach, let me just say, maybe if we had an election where it was a different Republican, maybe you could be like, oh, don't know. Maybe she's a Republican. She's not. But maybe. But, like, I don't know. It's just, like, crazy to me. I also was telling Billy that, like, it's not, put aside the stuff that we've seen on Miss Americana, that we've seen on her Instagram, put aside that. Maybe you don't know that. If you listen to her music, you think that the woman that wrote The Man is voting for Donald Trump?
Yeah. I tend to assume that, like, until they've said something, I tend to assume all celebrities are
liberals.
Voting, yes. Especially women.
Yeah.
And especially women who have had such terrible experiences with men in power taking things from them.
Yeah. She wrote, "You need to calm down."
Right.
She said,
she put
must have taken all night making that sign.
Right.
She said, how embarrassing for you. And you thought, but she's going to vote for Donald Trump?
Right. She put Ellen DeGeneres, and all of the members of Queer Eye and people from Drag Race in a music video all together, wearing the most bisexual outfit of all time. And you thought, that woman might be a Republican.
Not just a Republican, but a Donald Trump Republican.
Right.
Wild.
Have you seen the trailer for Ellen DeGeneres' Netflix special?
No.
It's no good. It's just her saying, I got canceled because I'm apparently not very nice, and I don't think that that's true.
Well,
I was like,
that's what a not nice person would say.
Yeah, it just brings up so many questions for me. Like, y'all put Matt Rife on there, and it didn't go well, and you thought, let's put Ellen DeGeneres. Let's give Ellen DeGeneres her big break back with us.
Yeah. Despite whatever tension everyone's tried to create over the last year with Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift, they're on the same page for this election. Surprise, surprise. Billie Eilish and her brother have also endorsed Kamala Harris, urging people to register to vote on National Voter Registration Day. Cute. Again, not shocking, but great.
Yeah.
Awesome. You should register to vote. Yeah. We think.
Yeah, I personally don't care what Billie Eilish's brother does. But...
No. Great.
I think it's so weird to me. Like, people are like, I saw a video where, like, some people were giving, like, a conservative speech of some sort, and they were like, man, screw Taylor Swift. And I was like, why do you care, like, so specifically about her endorsement? Like, do you know how many people have said publicly that they're going to vote for Kamala Harris? And you're not like, fuck Billie Eilish.
But I think that's the thing, is that people, so I've seen these, like, conservative commentators still trying to say that, like, they're like, does she not care like what this is going to do to her bottom line? Like Republicans aren't going to buy tickets anymore or whatever. First of all, tickets have been bought. Tickets have been bought. They've already been bought. But
and good luck selling them for. I mean, they'll probably sell for a lot of money, actually.
Yeah, but it's like so they're trying to do this thing where they act like they don't care who she endorsed. It doesn't matter. Who cares about Taylor Swift? JD Vance says no one relates to her. She's a billionaire. Who's going to tell him? Okay. But like he says like no one's going to change their vote because of who Taylor Swift's voting for. But then they can't stop talking about it. They're not talking about Billie Eilish's endorsement. Why is that?
Because they're afraid.
Because
people are gonna listen.
Right. So it's like you're giving scared while you're saying like it makes no difference to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, big it's like yeah, that election, no one walked out of that being like, you know what? I think Taylor Swift watched that and thought, even though none of the country thought that Donald Trump won, Taylor Swift thought he won.
Yeah. We it's Hispanic Heritage Month, if you didn't know. Well, and every year we pick a country to learn about. Most of my kids are from Spanish speaking countries, so we pick one that they are not from so that they can learn more about it. And this year we're learning about Panama, and we were like, I was explaining to them like they have the same like voting system that we do, and they have like the same branches of government that we do. This is their president-elect, but I was like, but the difference is that in Panama the president wins by popular vote. And in the United States, I said,
we'd be silly.
I was like, I don't know how to explain this to 7-year-olds. I was like, in the United States, so like each state gets a certain amount of votes, and whatever the majority vote is in that state, all of that state's votes go to that person. And they were like, what the fuck? I was like, I know. Then I told them that public college is free in Panama. And they said, I'm going to go to Panama. I said, you would be surprised to learn that you could go almost anywhere to a different country and get public free college. And they said, like, where? And our counselor said, anywhere but here. So they're learning so much. But, yeah, it just...
wild.
Yeah, I need the Electoral College to go away.
All right, on to just some more tea stuff. Less life-altering. Although, this is pretty life-altering. Selena Gomez tells us that her and Taylor Swift love to watch and talk about Vanderpump Rules.
And the Valley.
Isn't that crazy? How cute.
They're just like us.
They're the same. We're all the same.
We mentioned the VMAs earlier. Mother swept at the VMAs. She also gave a shout out to her boyfriend, Travis. She currently holds the record for the highest number of VMAs for a woman at 30. She got...
This whole time I was like, Mary, she is not 30.
No, she has 30 VMAs.
I was like, what?
Yeah, she has 30 VMAs. I think second most is Beyonce. She has 20 something. But I think she got 7 or 8 just this year.
The VMAs are so confusing to me because they don't show half of the awards. Like the VMAs are so confusing to me because like they don't show half of the awards. You just have to like follow it either in the commercial breaks. They'll tell you who won or like follow online. And I'm like, so it feels like she only won 2.
Yeah. Have you seen the video of Lisa Barlow singing Fortnite?
Yes.
For the 4th night. She knows every fucking word to that song except the title. It's so funny.
So, moving on to Vanderpump Rules in the Valley briefly. Taylor, this is for you. It is being said that at the Valley finale, oh, that's so fun,
Brittany was shown some graphic text messages between Jax and another woman. I don't know what that means.
When do you have time to text another woman when he's in inpatient therapy? Photos have also surfaced of Jax. Photos have surfaced of Jax talking to a woman in a restaurant. I want to clarify what these photos. It's like a woman sitting and Jax like leaning over her table.
Looks like he's screaming.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like he's with her.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. And but he's like up in her face, and people thought it was Brittany, and so she commented and she said, "That's definitely not me. I don't want him in my face." I said, "Yes, queen."
Yes, ma'am.
Dancing with the Stars premiered this week, and it was so fun. Phaedra cracked me up. She said, I tried to visit some of my housewife friends when they were on Dancing with the Stars, but by the time I was able to get there, they had already been eliminated.
So funny.
I know. But so the footage surrounding Anna Delvey, though, is so fucking weird. Like the way they handle her. So first of all, when they first introduce them, like then their partners, they like say what everyone's job is, or like Academy Award winning actor or whatever. So they get to Anna Delvey and they say fashionista and entrepreneur Anna Delvey, which seems so insulting to imply that she was in any way, shape, or form running a business when she was stealing money from people that she was friends with.
Unless there are some businesses of hers that are valid, but like that's not my understanding.
Yeah. They ask her in her interview about first thing she says is like, I've done some wrongs, but I did my time for them. Here's the other thing. I could have sworn that in the show they said that her accent was fake. She still got it. So that's another thing. But she was like, I did my time, and like now I like run an Instagram. I am a true like fashionista. I do like fashion posts. I'm an influencer, blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, I do have to wear an ankle monitor because I overstayed my visa because I was in jail and it was kind of hard to get home. I was like, so they're forcing you to stay here now?
Yeah. Very weird.
So now you're on house arrest in this country?
Yeah.
Right. Whatever. Then after her dance to Espresso, which dagger in my soul.
It was strange.
How
like
dare
why
you use
why the like shopping bags at the beginning, the close
she's a fashionista.
I know, but like again insensitive because all of her money is stolen. And then like the quick zoom into her ankle monitor over and over again, like so weird.
Yeah. The other thing is that like the song they pick is supposed to be like their anthem. And I was like, your anthem is Espresso? Like, are you known for like men falling all over you? That's kind of what Espresso's about. Like, what the hell? So after they dance, Carrie Ann gives this god awful speech about how this show isn't about what we think of her morally. We don't have to like her. We don't have to agree with her. But it's what we think of her dancing. And we have to respect that. First of all, I don't have to do anything. I also feel, based on everything that happened in the show, it wasn't good. They said she had like promise or whatever. Carrie Ann was trying so fucking hard to be like the nice judge, in my opinion. She scored everyone 1 point higher than Derek and Bruno did. And I was like, because she's gotten that reputation of being mean. She made Hannah Brown cry so much. And I feel like she's trying to like fix that. But like, so I think that's why she gave the speech. But it was so silly.
Yeah, it's like, if you are the dancing professional, I understand that that's what the show is about, but it's not. Like, for us, it's about their stardom. The point is that you're dancing with these stars. It is about, like, watching your favorite stars on this show. And it's like, when you watched Ariana, they had dances that were about like the things she had been through.
Yeah.
When you watch Jen, it's gonna be like watching her be empowered. You watch Joey, he's so goofy. Like when you watch her, and the whole time you're thinking like, oh, they're playing up that she loves to spend money on clothes, but she's never earned her money in legal ways. That's weird. Or like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just weird.
It's also, I think what's funny is that like they always, like, when they're getting ready to like tell you to vote, they're always saying like, if you want your favorite star to stay, you need to vote for them. So, like, it doesn't
not
matter.
Vote for who the best dancer is.
Like, it doesn't matter what the judges' scores are. It's all based on your votes. But then when it's like inconvenient for them, like when Sean Spicer was getting saved every fucking week, like the judges were pissed. Like they would tell him to his face, like, you should have gone home, not whoever went home. This is ridiculous. And so now they're like, oh, it's like about her dancing. But like, it's not. When you want people to vote for their favorite person, like, no one's gonna fucking vote for her unless it was the same people who voted for Sean Spicer might. We were talking about it at school because apparently everyone at my school watches Dancing with the Stars, and one of my coworkers pointed out like the privilege it takes to have a biopic made about your crimes and have that launch you into stardom and like get you all of these like deals and opportunities when there are like people in prison for like far less harmful crimes that are stuck there. Like I was like, yeah, true. Like it's not a good look.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as she was announced, people started saying like, cool, yeah, no way a Black person would have like been to prison and then just been like on Dancing with the Stars with their ankle monitor still on. Like, like when I watched Inventing Anna, like I never thought about her again as like someone who could be in society until Kit from The Bachelor, whose mom is like a fashion designer, like was at a party with her, and I thought like, oh god, like Kit's gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
She didn't. No. And then I was just like, oh, like this person's just like back into like New York City, like high society.
Yeah.
I didn't really think she'd be in like mainstream society.
Yeah.
But wild.
And then like she had like a good amount of friends watching her, like same amount as everyone else. But I think here's like the crazy part is that like they wouldn't even put like an exonerated Black person on Dancing with the Stars, I feel like.
Yeah.
And like be like, oh well, they're like, we're not gonna catch like Centoya Brown on Dancing with the Stars. But because this like it's like a fun little crime. And it's a harmless white person, like I hate it.
Is it going to become a thing though? Maybe we'll have Gypsy Rose on next year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Sammy said, I think it's so funny that they have Eric Roberts on when his daughter is like clearly so much more famous. I said, yeah, that's why they have him and not her. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, they're not getting the really famous people. And he was like, why? I was like, because they have shit to do. I was like, you're not gonna catch like Taylor Swift on here.
No.
The very famous people don't get this. Don't need this.
Yeah. People have tried to make a big deal about Joey dancing with his partner.
Yeah.
Kelsey has said, I had to watch an entire season of him being with my friends and like actually liking them. I think I can sit through watching him dance with a woman who is married with a cute kid.
Yeah. She said, she's so funny. She said, people keep asking me how I handle this. And I just think that it's her job. And also, do you know how I met my fiance? I was like, yeah. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Jonathan went on the Vile Files and said that he and Jen have gone on a date and are planning on spending more time together while she's in LA for Dancing with the Stars. He was front row on premiere night. Meanwhile, Devin, allegedly, I don't know how long ago, had a restraining order out on him by an ex-girlfriend, which he violated several times, including an incident where he broke into her home and stole a necklace he had given to her. And people are pointing out that, like, this was fairly easy for fans to find. This is public record. How did he get on the show?
I started watching I had heard of it a few years ago in Rachel Lindsay's book. This show called Unreal, and it's like a acted version of The Bachelor, but it's like production side. And I think that a former producer is who like is part of making it.
Yeah.
And in it, they have like all these people who have like absolutely failed mental health evaluations, are like unwell, and they're like, that's great. Hell yeah. Let's get the crazy girl on. And it just like makes you think, we've been saying for years, oh, how did that slip through? How did that slip through? And it's like, we're
it
idiots.
Didn't slip through.
It didn't. They wanted this.
Right.
And it's
which
like,
I think
the difference is that is a danger to Jen.
Right.
If she ends up with that man, which she did,
right,
then like that is dangerous. And like they should be held liable for that.
Right. Like someone with like the mental health state of like Angela from Big Brother, that's fun. That's a fun kind of kooky.
No.
Yes, like she's not hurting anyone, but like
she hurt Matt and Lisa.
She's with her.
Oh,
words,
how you forget? Yeah,
her words, but like But like Jen, especially as a like survivor of domestic violence, to put her in a situation with someone who and like we don't know why he's got a restraining order, but we can presume it's some form of domestic violence.
Yeah.
Like we were talking this week about like
stalking, but like
when we were on a soft lockdown and we were like not telling our kids why, and I was like, but they know a lockdown's not good. Like it's not just, oh, there's no reason. Like you don't get a restraining order against someone because you just don't like them.
Yeah.
And so like to put her back in that situation and to watch her family specifically say to those men that that's what they're worried about. And know that you put him on that show, that is god awful.
I hope you cannot sleep.
Yeah. True. I also saw today there was a guy who was expelled from Big Brother because he held a knife to someone's throat in the house.
I remember this.
And I watched like videos of him beforehand. He was like threatening like every woman in the house. He was like, he said like he punched one of them in the stomach. Then he held a knife to one of their throats. He was talking about like beating the shit out of them. It was insane. That's the kind of person that you're like, no, we can't put you on our show.
Yeah.
Because of your mental health. But like Tucker,
little kooky.
He's an oddball, you know.
Yeah.
Angel's got a mouth on her, whatever. But on the bright side, we got the premiere of The Golden Bachelorette this week, and for some reason, Bachelorette producers are much more sensitive to old people than young, and it's looking like a great cast. Looks like a promising season. We get a little preview where she tells Kelsey's dad that she loves him.
Cute.
She says, "I love you, Mark," and I said,
cute.
He's so great. She had their like kids, some of their moms, some of their grandkids make videos saying hi to them and like telling them good luck, and she like set them down in the living room and like put the videos on the TV for them, and they were all like crying.
Cute.
They were like, I love them. They seem like great dudes because they care about who Joan might end up with.
Yeah.
Jen's young. She's got time to fix herself. Not Joan.
Yeah, it's like interesting if you can like break these young people, because then they come back
Right.
on Paradise and they're interesting, and then they are social media people and they're interesting, and yeah.
Which is crazy because the first Golden Bachelor ended so well.
Yeah, of course. Netflix just announced, I saw it as I was sitting down for this, a Christmas special from Sabrina Carpenter coming December 6th called A Nonsense Christmas.
Yay.
How fun.
Yay.
And now, at this point, have we all watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? If you haven't,
Yes.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I love Demi.
Mm-hmm.
Hate Whitney.
As does everyone.
Crazy. Yeah, crazy to me. Because when I hadn't finished yet, I had only seen posts from her, and it was like people who loved her. She was like reposting them, and I was like telling Billy, like, I guess she's not the villain. Like, weird.
Yeah.
Like, people on the internet love her. No. On her page, they love her.
Right.
That's
her
it.
her premiere dress baffled me.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not a slut shamer.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what. But for her,
these women who are like
the entire fucking show doing so and being like, oh my god, like, I can't believe what they're wearing. I can't believe what they're doing. And then to wear that.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's only okay when you do it?
Yeah.
That seems to be a trend with Whitney.
Yes.
It's okay when I do it.
Yeah. I love a show where the messiness easily continues onto social media, which like we should have known with the future of Mom Talk hanging in the balance here.
Yeah.
We never know, is this going to ruin Mom Talk?
Right.
This could end Mom Talk
I don't
forever.
know if Mom Talk could survive this.
We really can't know. So Whitney seems to have embraced her role as the villain. All of the women, including Macy, it seems, have like fought with her since this. And they are all going on the Biofiles together. They're doing all these interviews, which Whitney is not doing. I think it would be...
But she's still in their TikToks.
I saw a few where she wasn't, so I wondered if the ones she was in were older, but maybe not.
I've seen some where she is pregnant in them.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird because I just keep feeling like there's no way she could come back for another season.
Yeah. Oh. Her and Taylor be commenting on each other's posts.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
So fun.
In my opinion, the bigger villain, Zach Affleck, is also getting his fair share of internet hate.
Good.
Yeah. His very fair share of internet hate. I don't think I have ever seen a more unified comment section than Jen's, with people saying, she keeps commenting like, what's your favorite part? And they're like, in season 2 when you leave your husband. She did end up making a post about it and like thanked people who were supportive of them. Don't know who those people are, haven't seen them. And that like we don't understand her marriage, that like they're fine. If you've seen the message he sent her while she was in Vegas, people have like paused their TV and posted a picture of it. It's horrible.
I saw that people were doing that, but I didn't read it.
Let me read it to you because it is horrible.
While you're looking that up, I will say I've also heard people say that he is actually not related to Ben Affleck, but that he like has been known to like claim this, and that everyone, I guess, like in the area like knows that that's not true. I feel like we would have heard the women saying that as much as they are coming for him.
Yeah.
But wild.
I was like,
Ben Affleck could just come out and be like, I don't know you, bruv.
Macy's wasting her time hating Taylor's boyfriend. There's a real shithead over here. Okay, it says, seriously, I don't want to hear one more time about your heart. This is hard to read, it's blurry. Start taking accountability for your actions and the situations you put yourself in. You're a grown woman. He spelled you're wrong. Doesn't matter your intention, you were there, and that's the image you portray of yourself, family, church, etc. Everyone you represent with this platform. The fact you would have to ask me is RHOSLC. Would
Excuse
you
me?
ever? Yeah.
Oh, is R? I was like, I thought you were just saying RHOSLC, like he typed a word that made no sense. Okay.
R word.
Okay,
Got
it.
Would you ever find somebody? This is like a couple they know. Leslie
Whatever.
asking Kyle that? No, because she respect her own values and her husband and would never put herself in that situation. The fact we are even having this conversation is sad, especially after everything with the
swinging, probably.
I don't know what it says. I can't read that word. And then her hair is in the way and says something. Realize how dumb you would. You're a worthy temple sticking up for being a male. Her hair cuts off some of the words.
Wild.
But he also at some point threatened to take away her children over this. It's insane.
But it was like before she even left,
she
said if we ended up at a something show, and he said, well, you'd have to decide if losing your kids is worth it then.
Yeah.
And so in that way, and I obviously so not blaming her, but in that way, like, didn't you see this coming?
Right.
You know?
And
like,
I think like the problem people are seeing is that like he's having this reaction to her saying the other girls wanted to do this and I left.
Right. Yeah, and I think for him it's probably like, you should have known, you're on this show, they were taking you somewhere, they wouldn't tell you where they were taking you, you should have insisted that they tell you, you should have said, if you won't tell me, I won't go. And it's like, but also she's out here making money for your family.
Right.
So,
and she's making more money than him as a doctor
and paying for him to go to medical school.
Right. Yeah, they are the only ones who no longer live in Utah.
Yeah. An interesting connection has been found. Demi's husband Brett used to be married to Angie Harrington from the Housewives of Salt Lake City, and he was also
not Greek Angie.
No,
blonde Angie, whose husband also had a gossip account.
And Brett was also on Claire's season of The Bachelor, which is so shocking considering how little he was on the TV.
Yeah.
In Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. He really, really wanted to be famous, and then he did it.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Housewives of Salt Lake City, we got the season 5 premiere. Welcome.
Yes. I have never seen such a dramatic intro to a season.
Yeah.
In my life.
I know.
It was like it was borderline silly.
Yeah. But like all the like detailed zoom shots of their homes, like they literally said like, oh, you used to just be like Salt Lake City, you know, like Dallas. You're just like one of our whatever. Now you're it. You're the it girls. You're the stars. We're putting all of our budget into this. And I think it paid off, but we'll see. On Instagram, before it premiered, Whitney tells us that she is now healed.
She's always healed. She's always she says that at the beginning of every season.
But she was on her healing journey a couple of years ago. But now she's healed.
Finished her journey.
Yeah, she's done. She displays this by telling Lisa Barlow she tells Lisa Barlow, fuck you. In the first episode, she says, you want to see what healed Whitney looks like? Fuck you. And Lisa says, you can leave.
You can leave.
Lisa Barlow recently, allegedly, lost a $100,000 ring while dancing at a New York Fashion Week party. And Mary told me that people are wonder if she's got some insurance scams going on.
Yeah. It's like purely speculation, but people are saying like you would think after the reaction she had to losing that first ring, she would be more careful. But now she's lost 2 insured rings, and that's kind of suspicious. Other people were commenting and saying, is she going to blame Monica for this one too? But yeah,
it was
just odd.
Yeah. I was watching on Watch What Happens Live though, and Andy was like, how did you lose another ring? And she was like, actually, I didn't lose this one, but like it fell, but I immediately found it. Which was crazy because the other girl on Watch What Happens Live who works for Ring Concierge had brought her a ring. So now she's still got a ring when she didn't even lose hers, apparently. So I don't know how you get that headline when you immediately found it, but
right.
Whatever.
I had put, do we know who the new girl is? But now I have watched the show and I love her. She is everything to me.
That's crazy.
She's so colorful. Wild. I want everyone was entire
like,
wardrobe.
I watched the premiere and saw that yellow outfit, and I thought, literally, where could she be going? That was crazy. Yeah. I am there for some of it. That wild. That yellow outfit.
That was ugly.
The choice.
But you have to look at her Instagram.
Fine, but that's not what we're judging her off of now.
Couture queen.
So, yeah, Bronwyn is Lisa's friend. She bonded with Mary very quickly about their love of couture fashion. She was wearing only one of 3 Saint Laurent hearts in the world, and the others belong to Rihanna and a museum.
I thought that it would be more expensive.
Yeah, how
based on it's $12,000.
Yeah,
which is like a lot for a coat, but like if there's only 3 in the world, like there's plenty of coats that are $12,000. You know?
Another person who will be a friend of this season is Brittany, who sat down and said that she liked Bronwyn's costume, which set Mary off, talking about how she must not understand fashion. Then she dared to insinuate that maybe Mary was poor. Mary said, who told you that?
Mary did 5 seconds ago. She said, I grew up with very little and now I love couture. And she said, I grew up poor too. And she said, poor?
Who said I was poor? And then she cannot get over the fact that this woman would put rolls in her purse. Mary said, obviously she's doing that in her adulthood because as a kid, no one has a purse.
Have a purse. You don't have a purse when you're little.
Especially when you're poor. How'd you get a purse when you were young and poor? I had a purse when I was young and poor. I made it out of jeans.
Yeah, you did a lot. We had a lot of purses made of jeans.
Yeah.
But I think that what Mary was saying was that she didn't have a lot of like clothes growing up because
she was a child.
She was, but also like she was a child in a deeply religious family.
Sure.
That was like running the church. And so now she does. But most of the time when you say I grew up with little, that means poor.
I understand the way that like assuming that Mary was poor is like a microaggression, but it's also like it's only Mary who would be so offended by the concept that like Mary wants us to know that she has always been like set up well in her life. She comes from like a good lineage. She like that's like what she wants us to believe about her.
Yeah.
And it's like
people who make you marry your stepfather are not a good lineage. Or your step-grandfather are not a good lineage, personally.
No. But there will be another friend of joining later. We didn't meet her yet, but she is Whitney's friend. Her name is Maylee, I believe. I don't know how much I agree that we needed 3 new people, 2 of which are not even in the cast, and bringing Mary back.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, like, a lot just to replace Monica, ?
Yeah.
Like, I think we have enough drama with Angie, Whitney, Heather, Meredith, Lisa, and Mary. That's fine. If you want to put Mary in. Like, we have enough with them. Like, we didn't need Bronwyn, Brittany, and Maylee.
Yeah, and they posted a video on Instagram of them like passing a receipt around, and the friends were in the video, and I was like, what? Like, other than like Marisol, since when do we give friends this much? Space.
And they like in the intro, Bronwyn, obviously because there's nothing in there, but Bronwyn wasn't in it. The intro was all about like how will these women like recover from what happened, and then it's like, but you want me to give a fuck about these other people? No. I want to know how in the hell Heather is on the side of Lisa and Meredith, and Mary, Whitney, and Angie are friends. I need to understand that. I don't give a fuck about Bronwyn.
Yeah. Silly.
I thought this was of note. So when they did like them standing there in the snow, like holding their apples, which are snowflakes, they didn't use the new pictures where they're wearing the purple. So I thought that was weird. I don't know what those new pictures are for then. What I also thought was of note is that Angie K is in the middle. Even though the pictures of the purple outfits, Heather's in the middle. Is Angie K going to be the star? She comes out with this scroll. She could be. Who knows? I could absolutely not handle starting off another season talking about Meredith and her baths.
Meredith saying, my boobs just keep getting bigger. And I was like, your lips too, apparently.
Yeah. Also, so when I first watched Salt Lake City, I watched season 4 because that's what was on. And then I was like, okay, cool. I do like this. Let me go back and watch from the beginning. In season 4, I hated Meredith. They make you think like it's either her or Monica that's going to be like the one that does this. But they really set it up to be Meredith. When I watched from season 1, I love Meredith. I think she's so funny. I think she's so right a lot of the time. It wasn't until the Lisa hot mic moment that she like shifted who she was as a person. And she said, oh, that's how we play this game.
Right.
I'll do it. But Meredith, not with the baths again. Girly, like you're setting yourself up for another bad season. Like,
I know.
Let the baths go. She's like, and like her more thing.
She's like, I was like, when she started talking about like, oh, Whitney copied me with the bath bombs, I was like, Whitney's always had like her business has been like skincare. It is not out of reach to think that she may have had bath bombs before, or that it makes sense to create them now. And I was like, the one thing is like about Meredith is like she just has to ask. Yeah, I just have to ask. And like, but like you don't.
I'm not mad.
I get the jewelry thing because like Meredith Marks is a whole ass brand of jewelry. Yeah. I get it. The bath bomb, and then she's like, I need a second to process everything you've just said. I was like, because you're realizing you are wrong.
Yeah, it's also like when they played the tape back from the reunion, she didn't say, I have a business venture starting. Someone said, you could do that as a bath bomb, and she said,
Right.
Like,
she's like, I made it very clear. I'm making bath bombs. I'm so confused. Are they bath bombs that look like butter? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
What is it?
Are they buttery?
Like a texture? Like, I don't even know what she's making still.
No. Like I said a second ago, the friendships where they lie is very confusing. So Mary and Angie K are like besties. Question mark. They like flash back to Mary saying like, who is Angie? Last season, they're like, you go from who is Angie to best friends.
Well,
Angie K. What?
Sorry. Well, the whole like who is Angie thing was because Angie came on Meredith's trip when she wasn't supposed to, and Mary and Meredith are so close, and it didn't look like she talked to Meredith one time.
No.
And then she goes in the confessional and she says, I hate baths. I think they're disgusting. You're going to get a yeast infection. I was like, those are fighting words for Meredith.
Yeah.
So clearly she hates Meredith now.
Yeah. Angie K also seems to be very close with Whitney. I had seen at like events, like press events, that was the split, Angie, Whitney, and Mary, and then Heather, Lisa, and Meredith. In the premiere, we see that Heather is very close with Lisa and is still at odds with Whitney. We don't really see, I can't really tell how Heather is with Meredith yet, but we'll see. I guess they're fine.
She was with her after she got the
yes.
last breast reduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Mary might actually like Heather now that she's skinny.
She said, I cracked the code.
Yeah, she said, wait, now that I've lost 25 pounds.
I gotta say, I respect her honesty.
Yeah, people have said that from the jump with Heather. Like, they were like, I hate that Heather maybe felt like she needed to, like, change her face, lose weight, whatever. But, like, she's not lying to us. Like, all the housewives have been losing all this weight, and they're like, I don't know what happened. I just...
Yeah.
And she's like, like, hey, you look great. She's like, it's a Ozempic, baby. Like, I'm not gonna lie to these women.
Yeah.
She said, thank God for modern medicine.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa and I don't know.
Yeah. So Lisa's mad at Whitney, kind of confused about how Whitney thought she wouldn't be.
Right. She's like, apparently Lisa's mad at me now.
I love Whitney, but what?
You dumbass.
Yeah. So Whitney went on the Vital Files and said first that she has never heard Lisa take accountability for anything, and that Lisa has always been the villain, which is true.
Yeah. That hot mic moment?
Always hated Lisa. Even when Jin Shah was supposed to be the most hateable, we were like, we hate Lisa.
For the fourth night there we were. I also like with the ring thing, people have said like kind of brought it back to Lisa's reaction to Jin Shah being arrested and like huddled over in the thing calling every lawyer she knows.
Are they gonna look into my insurance scams now?
Right.
Angie K did bring a scroll with a list of things that she expects an apology from Meredith for.
Which one is blurred out?
I don't know.
What could it say?
Reddit doesn't even know, which is crazy. I'm watching this squirrel play in the tree. It's so cute.
I did see.
But Meredith, I did see. What?
Meredith, after the premiere, posted on Instagram. She said, "The only scroll I read is the Torah."
Oh. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Judaism queen.
Yeah. So I looked at the blurred out one and I can't make out what it says, but under it she wrote, which by the way, my business partners would like an apology for that one as well. So I wonder if it was blurred because it's something that either like would lead to litigation or is in litigation. I don't know. Maybe. Because if it was like a word, like they would just blur the one word.
Well, I was like, how did she use that many inappropriate words?
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, it's something that they can't show what it says. Like when they leave someone's name out.
Yeah.
Last bit of Salt Lake City news. Monica. She said, "Oh, y'all are gonna premiere your show without me? Fine. I have news too." She revealed that she is the new narrator of House of Villains.
Good. As she should.
She said, like, I've never seen House of Villains, but apparently they have like a Big Brother like intercom system, and it's gonna be her that comes over the intercom.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. More Real Housewives. As Salt Lake City enters the chat, Dubai exits. We ended the season of Real Housewives of Dubai with the end of the 10-year friendship of Lisa and Chanel Ayan, which was like truly like a best friendship, a sisterhood, like they were the strongest friendship on the show, and now they are not. Interestingly, they both told Andy that they felt like their friendship was one worth saving, but then proceeded to rip each other to shreds on the reunion. And and then at the end they were like, "There's still a chance." I was like, "I would not be friends with you anymore." Essentially, the arguments all revolved around Lisa being jealous that Chanel Ayan is now so close to Stanberry, and Ayan thinking that Lisa has used her all these years for clout, whatever. Chanel Ayan is like a supermodel, so she certainly has connections that Lisa doesn't.
Would want.
Right. So Ayan, I guess both of them, they tell Andy that on the first episode of the season, a scene didn't air in which Ayan told Lisa that she had been talking to Rihanna
That's
like,
the person on the show.
Singer Rihanna.
Okay.
That's how you pronounce her name.
Okay.
About how to get her makeup business off the ground. She's like, Fenty is so successful. How can I be successful as I start my makeup business? And she's like sharing this with her bestie. She's like, oh my God, like Rihanna and I are talking about makeup. And Lisa says, well, Rihanna is pregnant. Can you ask her to promote my maternity wear? Because that's what her business is. And Ayan, like, she didn't really say like yes or no. She's like, oh my God, that'd be so funny if I messaged her and I was like, oh, and my bestie makes the best maternity wear in the world. You should try it. But she never did, because she said that she did not want to ask for more on top of the makeup help she was already getting.
Like that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want it to seem like I'm just like taking this woman for granted.
Yeah.
Also, there was a big argument in the beginning of the season because they all went to see Rihanna in concert, and everyone had different seats, and they were like, our seats were better because blah, blah, blah. So then Talene and Brooks, who were also besties at the start of the show, are pretty much having the same argument as Ayan and Lisa. Brooks says Talene begged her to get on the show. Talene says that Brooks begged her to join the show. She said that Brooks said, Stanberry has a friend up for joining the show. Like, you need to get in touch with them, like, right now so that it's you instead. And she's like, yeah, I did say that, because she begged me to be on the show. And she's like, what? And then they're also arguing because Brooks says Talene shouldn't be friends with Stanberry, and Talene says that Brooks shouldn't be friends with Sarah. A mess. Everyone who was best friends at the beginning of this is not friends anymore. But my favorite part is that at the end of every reunion, all two of them, they exchanged gifts. And this season they were shady. They were shady. They were a little bit shady last year, but not all of them. So Brooks gives Ayan a sparkly, like, one of those like Starbucks cups with like the studs on it. Starbucks cup, and says like, oh, it's because you're always so thirsty. And it was kind of funny because Ayan had just asked Andy for some water, and so she was like, I am thirsty right now, this is perfect. And then Ayan gives Lisa a gallon of water for the same reason.
Less gifty.
Yeah. She said, when I grew up in a village, I had to walk to school every day, and this gift changed my life. Is water. Lisa gives Stanberry a VIP package as the president of her fan club because she says she's obsessed with her. Talene gives Brooks a dress she borrowed from her for an event during season 1, along with a tweet Brooks put out that said she had never borrowed clothing from Talene. And she also pulled up 2 pictures of Talene wearing the dress and Brooks wearing the dress. And she was like, okay, I borrowed one dress from you. And she's like, but your tweet says that not even one time. Because that was like an issue on the show, was that when Brooke started calling Talene a beggar for begging her to get on the show, and Talene was like, I've never begged for anything in my life. Her entire season 1 wardrobe was mine. I don't remember what Sarah gave to Talene. I want to say Talene said, I don't want this, whatever it was. But Stanberry gave Sarah a dummy because she said Brooks always has her hand up Sarah's ass like a ventriloquist. They said that was the best gift. She also gave everyone a t-shirt that said, who's your sugar daddy? Because they all said that she had a sugar daddy this season. But I was like, this right here is gonna be the reason nobody in this group is friends anymore. Like, and then Andy was like, okay, like, how are we feeling? And they were like, there's still hope for our group. And I was like, If you handed me a VIP pass to be president of your fan club, which, by the way, the ID photo was of Stanberry with her head wrapped in gauze after getting plastic surgery. If you handed that to me on a stage with Andy Cohen on national television, I would never be your friend again.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah. That does sound fun.
Yeah, it is cute.
Cute.
Season 1 wasn't as crazy.
Yeah.
The gifts. Some of them were like serious, but
it's fun to do gifts though.
Yeah, I like it.
A good opportunity for shade.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell like which of them had it like ordered and like shipped, and which of them like went and got something from a gas station when they got to New York.
Mm-hmm. All right, last section is Big Brother. Why are we torturing these people?
Literally, people pointed out like when they got to the HOH, like, oh, okay, this is the pressure cooker. But like for a whole week?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I was like, just before we started watching Janky World, I was just talking to Billy about like, what season did they do Dire Fest? I remember that like it had like strategic bearing on the game at the end of it. So it was 2 seasons ago, was the season that Taylor ended up winning. But I just feel like that was so different because like only certain people were in the backyard at a time. So then there were still people inside. So then like strategically there were like alliances forming inside and outside, and people didn't know what conversations were happening inside and outside. And like this Janky World thing feels like the only goal is to mentally wear them down.
Yeah.
Like they're all out there. Nothing's like changing game wise other than they can't talk like in super private, like because they're out in the backyard together. But like it just feels like it is just making them lose their minds. And like for me, like that's not fun to watch.
No.
Super fun for the 9th consecutive week. The veto was used again, which is just some fun little history making for Big Brother.
Insane.
Yeah. I feel like this season, and honestly the past few years, the players rightfully understand that they need to get rid of strong players early. And that's great. So people who could win on finale night, obviously people like Tucker who are going to keep winning competitions too, but like also just people who have good social games that they think would win at the end. I think that they've done that. However, for entertainment purposes, I feel like when we get down to like a final 6, a final 4, a final 2, that we don't necessarily think are great players and we don't think that they like deserve to win, that's like less entertaining. And I get it. I guess if they made it to the end, then they do deserve to win more than the people who didn't make it to the end. But it just feels like, 2 years ago when they got Michael out and everyone was like, oh man, like that's a huge game move to get Michael out, but also like Michael deserved to win. And it's like, yes, in the end, like Taylor deserved to win, but it just feels like, I don't know. Basically, this week they sent home T-Core, which I do think was smart, obviously, to break up that trio, because as you're getting down to final 7, you don't need a 3-person voting block.
For sure.
And I think that she was the strongest player in the trio, so I think that was smart. But now we have 7 people left, which are Mackenzie, Angela, Leah, Chemo, Rubina, Cam, and Chelsea. And I think outside of Chelsea and sometimes Mackenzie, because she can win competitions, I would have originally classified all of those people as floaters. Or at least they're like laying low strategically. So it's like I don't root for them to win the money because I don't care about them.
When Angela, I think it was Angela, called T-Core a floater, I was like, are you joking?
Yeah.
She has been like in the most solid alliance this entire time.
Yeah, and so it's just like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm excited about any of the people left. Like at this point, I feel like Chelsea like deserves it probably
Yeah.
more than anyone else. And like, you know, when you make it to the end and it's 2 or 3 people up against each other, like you'll still in your head know like who deserves it more than the others. But
Right.
it just feels like that's been the way we've played the last few years, is that like anytime someone shows they're pretty good at the game, you don't try to use them for your benefit, you just get them out, which is like
Right.
smart. But then it's like,
Sad.
okay, so now like
Right.
Quinn is gone, who I thought would have been a person to win it.
Right.
T-Core's gone, who had a good social game. Joseph, who absolutely would have won because
Right.
he has the
He's
best social
killing the
game in the house. He's gone. What do we do without Joseph?
I know. Tragic.
I mostly just felt so bad for T-Core though that she had to walk through the silent, empty house to leave because they were all still in the backyard in Janky World.
Yeah.
That was so sad.
And she didn't have any of her stuff.
Yeah. And then we find out that next week is finally the first double eviction week. And I'm assuming it will be the only one.
Right.
Because if we're down to 7 now, that will put us down to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So unless they're going to do 2 doubles in a row and knock us down to 3, which they would never do. So like, I just feel like that's it. We get 1 double eviction this time.
Yeah. And this is the first time all season that we've gotten to see them start an HOH, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who do you think was winning when they closed out? I fear it was Angela.
What was it again?
They were like stacking the candies.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I felt like Chemo like reconfigured his and he was doing pretty well. Cam
was like building his on the floor.
Yeah.
A little bit, I think, to like make it taller. But my thing is is the goal to have like the tallest or the most pieces?
I don't remember, or if it's like you have to finish a certain amount of pieces or something.
Yeah, because I feel like Angela had the most pieces, but she had like smaller pieces, I think. Like
yeah.
Cam had like all those long pieces that were making it like stack really well, but he didn't have as many.
Well, I don't know. So I need people's opinions on who is doing well this season. Who
literally
are we rooting for? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, people are scared that Angela's gonna win.
Yeah, I just don't think that in the final 2 anyone would vote for her. I think they would all know.
No, I agree.
She got here by chance.
Right.
But
unless they start to wonder,
yeah,
if she's manipulating people.
Yeah. I wanted to at the end today. I feel like so many shows are coming or have come out, and I am overwhelmed and I want to watch everything, but I want to know what's worth my time.
Yeah.
What are we watching and what are we excited for? So
we started Monsters last night. We have 3 episodes left. In my opinion, it is mostly accurate. Okay. So Eric's wife made a statement that she does not approve of the show, and I told Sammy I'm certain that the reason why is because they have clearly portrayed him as gay.
Oh.
They've given him 2 male relationships now.
Wait, like actual like he is like in gay relationships?
Yes.
Oh,
and
I
said that's not accurate. And so I'm sure his wife is bothered by it. One, he said that.
Ugh, that's so yucky.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but I feel like I should tell you. When he talks about like his wife, or not his wife, his mom inspecting his penis, he says that she was like checking him for AIDS, and Leslie keeps saying like, why was she checking you for AIDS? And he said like, I was in love with a boy. And then he said like, but sex with him was different than with my dad because like it was really nice and like we were in love. And then he said, just like in here, it was different. And he
Yeah, I
had
don't
just
like.
told her, yeah, he had just told her his closest friend in prison had been moved to a different prison, and he was really sad. And so
Yeah.
then he like reveals that he was also sleeping with him.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah. I just
Okay.
think, I think we talked about that, like, that was, like, something that his parents thought of him, that
They thought that he
they
was
called
like
him the F slur.
weaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that they viewed him in that way, possibly. But I think, one, I think that, like,
It was just like a manipulation tactic from his dad.
right, right. And, like, I think that, like, in the show, he kept saying, like, that he didn't want to say he was one way or the other because he felt like he only liked having sex with men because it was what he was used to because of his dad. I think that that's, like, a harmful narrative,
That is very gross. Yeah.
like, to say that,
That
like,
people are abused
right,
into a sexuality,
right,
or that like he in any way like took
right.
what was happening with his dad and like liked it.
Yeah,
Like that's like
there's a couple of
grotesque.
things that he says, like, says, like,
Is it
he,
like following Jeffrey Dahmer? We like need all of these series to be like gay
right.
now? Like
Well, Ryan Murphy is gay, you know. But yeah, there's, like, one thing he says, like, he didn't understand how it, like, made him orgasm when he had sex with his dad, and,
this is
like,
like
things.
all in the show.
Yeah.
This is
There it
pretty
is
awful.
it is an entire episode, one full length hour-long episode of him and Leslie. We can only see the back of her head talking at a table, and these are the things he's saying. Um up until that point, everything, I was like, okay, yes, like, they're getting this, like, showing that he's the monster. They've talked about Menudo, like, everything. And
Mm-hmm.
then that episode happens, and I said, Sammy had said one of their wives doesn't like it, and that episode has it happened, and I said, was it Eric's wife? Because
Yeah.
I would be pissed too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, like, because regardless of, like, the harm that, like, it could do to their relationship to have it be put out there that her husband is gay, like, the implication of he's gay because he liked having sex with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
They
It's
also
disgusting.
have a couple of scenes where him and Lyle are, like, doing things, like, I don't know. There's one scene where, like, him and Lyle are, like, very close to each other's faces, and he's, like, sticking his finger in Lyle's mouth, and, like, everyone at the party's, like, looking at them like this is weird because they're brothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I don't like that.
it was fine at first, and then not so much. But
Okay.
now I feel like I have to finish it. But I
Yeah,
will
of
say,
course.
the bright side is that Sammy, he did not know that the reason that they killed their parents. He thought they just didn't like their parents. And so now he's like, let these fucking men out of prison.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
great. But
yeah, it was
well,
fine up until a certain point.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to watch it, but that's just pretty gross.
I know. Yeah. If you want to just skip that episode,
yeah.
it was very difficult to watch.
Also, do we want to watch Demi Lovato's documentary that's coming out? I feel like we do.
Yeah. Her
Right?
little sister's pregnant.
Nice. Have we watched the Ruby Frankie documentary on Peacock?
I will.
Have we watched Chimp Crazy? Is it worth it? I never watched Tiger King, so I feel like I must stick with it and not watch Chimp Crazy. But if someone tells me it's worth it, I might.
I will not be I agree. I will not be watching Chimp Crazy until it gets the same, like, that Tiger King did.
Okay.
I only watched Tiger King because people were like, "This is batshit crazy."
Yeah.
And then I watched it. I will watch Chimp Crazy if something like that happens. But I just right now I don't see They're like,
Oh,
it's
I
made by the
see
same
it
people as
everywhere.
Tiger King. Well, but like all I've seen is like it's made by the same people as Tiger King,
Yeah.
not that like it's similar.
Yeah.
But I will say we watched something on Netflix. It's a docu series. It's 2 episodes, and I think it's called like The Lost Daughter
Mm.
or something, and it was in fucking sane. It was so good. I highly recommend. Let me see if I can find like the actual title because it's like a 2-part title, but it
Yeah.
was incredible. Um it's about a woman who gives her daughter up for adoption, and okay, it's called Into the Fire, The Lost Daughter. It's
Okay.
about a woman who puts her daughter up for adoption and then decides later in her life that she maybe wants to meet her, and when she looks her up, she finds out that she has been missing for like 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Crazy.
she solves her murder.
Wow. Spoiler.
Yeah, sorry.
I
mean, she's been missing for 30 years. Did you think she was still alive?
No, I meant spoiler that she solves it.
Oh. I mean, yeah.
And okay, for like reality TV, obviously we'll watch Love is Blind is coming in October. Stassi Says is coming. We don't know when, but we will be watching it. Should I be more devoted to Selling Sunset? I've watched 1 season. Is it as good as everyone says it is? Do I
don't
need
find
to
Selling
watch?
Sunset interesting.
Okay, cool. Again, if someone wants to talk me into any of these, go for it. This is where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I've tried to watch Selling Sunset even when there's been like drama with like dating. It's just not interesting to me.
All right, friends. That's it. Tell us what to watch. Tell us what you think of Big Brother. And register to vote.
Yay.
Okay. Bye. Bye.